Hello everybody, welcome to the stream today. I'm kind of saying fuck it to all my other games right now because I'm obsessed with Cinderella Phenomenon. So let's jump back into it. If you've missed my playthrough of Cinderella Phenomenon, last time we went through the Karma route, which was the Beauty and the Beast character. Some stuff happened. We lost one of our romance options got killed. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on in the other routes, and I'm excited to play it. So let's get back into it, and let's fall in love again, shall we? Let's start a new game. No, none of that. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away, there were two crystals. One was the light crystal, protected by the ruler of the fairies. The other was the dark crystal, which was watched over by the high leader of the witches. The light crystal was sustained by love, happiness, and joy. The dark crystal by fear, anger, and hatred. The fairies and witches lived in harmony with the humans of the kingdom. They regulated the powers of the crystals in order to maintain balance between darkness and light. There can be no joy without sadness, no courage without fear. The kingdom was at peace for a time. Then one day a traveling bard decided to write stories, tales of the magic and wonders of the kingdom. He named these stories fairy tales. In fairy tales, the light always emerged victorious, and true love was the usual reward. The fairy tales spread further than could have been predicted. The humans of the kingdom began to believe that fairy tales were true, and that the magic of the witches was inherently wicked and cruel. The witches became hated and feared. Eventually they were hunted like animals. The witch hunt. The high leader of the witches, in all of her anger, created the fairy tale curse. You think we are wicked? So be it. Just as you have taken our happily ever afters, we shall take yours. The witches used the fairy tale curse to attack humans indiscriminately, ultimately throwing the kingdom into chaos and darkness. The ruler of the fairies, the light bearer, sought to regain peace. But the witches were blinded by their hatred for humans, who were responsible for the witch genocide. A terrible war, the Great War, began. Eventually, the Dark Crystal Bearer, the high leader of the witches, was finally defeated. The dark crystal was lost, peace was restored, and the light once again triumphed. But darkness can never fully disappear. It waits in the shadows, patient for when its time will inevitably return. Alright. Here we go again. Whoops. Caps lock on. Here we go. It's time to meet the Ice Princess. So I'm going to do a little bit of a skip through the prologue and through, just mainly through the prologue because I want to get to like the first chapters immediately. But in case you missed it, you should go check out my VODs channel at YouTube/@princessevillan VODs. You can find my first playthrough of Cinderella Phenomenon there, and you can get all caught up on the lore. We're going to be a little selective with what we end up reading today. So let's just skip forward. Basically, we're the Ice Princess. People don't like us. We're really icy and cold towards people. We have a stepsister and a stepbrother. And we end up getting cursed by one of our dolls, who's actually a witch. So we're gonna go right. Hey, this way. No time to talk, princess. How do you know who I am? Yes, when we get cursed, everybody loses their memories of us, except for people who are fairies, witches, and others who are cursed. There's another one. Stop running, you two. We're running away because these guys are trying to steal our money and possibly do bad things to us. Come on. The boy grabs my wrist and pulls me after him. He takes off with a sudden burst of speed, and then I'm running even faster than I just was. I'm not entirely convinced following him is a good idea, but at least the boy seems to have a better sense of direction than me. Oh! Our running causes rocks in the pathway to come loose, and before I notice them in my path, I step down hard on them. A sharp pain shoots up my foot, and I collapse to the ground. It hurts. Princess! I try to stand, but the pain in my feet is unbearable. I fall back down into the dirt with a gasp. I can't. We've got you now. Just hand over your coins and neither of you will get hurt. I won't let you touch her. Ha, says the little boy. Well, well, well. And there's karma. So last time we went the karma route and we got his bad ending and his good ending. So we're gonna go with somebody else this time. Two adults threatening a child and a lady? How very ungentlemanly. What are the likes of you even doing around this neighborhood? You asking to get fleeced? Asking. Perhaps I'm in the mood for a scuffle. Get it, Karma. The nobleman brandishes his sword, his expression confident, maybe even cocky. Show me what you've got, sirs. And please, don't bore me. Who are these people? I ain't dealing with this for money. He's got a sword. What? Come back here, you coward. The two of us can take him. I think your friend has the right idea. I'm not the type to show mercy. This is way too much trouble for a little gold. You're late. Sorry, kid. You know how hard it is for me to be invisible around here. Wait, what did you just call me? That E is small one. These two know each other? I don't even know what's going on anymore. I feel ill. My head is pounding and my feet feel simultaneously like they are frozen and on fire. My stomach rumbles, the hunger coming back with a vengeance. My body feels light. Hey, princess! Princess! Calm down. Parfait will be able to help her. But for now, we need to move before anyone else sees us. Yeah. Don't worry, you're safe now. So, this gave us a green? I wonder who the green is. Is that Rumpl? Or is that Waltz? Everything is fading. I think it's Waltz. A dream? What's that in your hands, Evillan? It was hurt. I just wanted to help it, but it died. It's all my fault. It's not your fault, my love. It died because it was weak. But this is the world, Evillan. Only the strong survive. The weak get cast aside to die. You are not weak. You are strong, my crown princess, and you do not cry. Now wipe your tears. I don't want to see you cry again. Do you understand? Yes. Now get rid of that thing and wash your hands. Did you not hear me, child? Yes, mother. We got a bit of a Mother Gothel situation going on with a little abusive mom. Oh, you're awake. Where am I? This isn't my room. Oof. My hand flies to my chest where the little glass slipper hangs from my neck. We have one glass slipper. We need 2 glass slippers to break our curse, which means we need to do 3 good deeds in order to get the last pieces. Still here. Are you okay, miss? This girl is the maid that tore Dolores' dress. The one I fired for her clumsiness. Miss? To think that I would meet her again here, like this. Leave me alone. Oh, leave me alone. Oh. Right, of course. Here's some salve I made for you. It'll help with the pain. Now what? Haven't thought at all, have you, Ice Princess? And that's our witch. She used to be a doll, but now she's a witch. You! Suddenly there she is. Dolores stands before me with a snide smile, looking happy with herself. She's the cause of everything I've been through. All the pain, heartache, and hunger. Hey, Blackblade, what's going on? All the pain, heartache, and hunger, it's all her fault. I try to stand, thinking to give the witch a piece of my mind, but as soon as my feet touch the floor, pain shoots up my legs. I end up falling back to bed. Ow! You should be more grateful to the girl you just scared away. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like my voice. She's been taking care of you for the past 2 days. 2 days? I've been passed out for 2 days? I'm suddenly vibrating with anger. Remove the curse. Now. Ha! Do you think you can just command me to remove the curse in your best princess voice? What do you want? Gold? What I want is nothing more than all the gold you could summon in Angel, princess. Aw, thanks. I made that PNG all by myself. I did all the art for it, so... Yeah, I'm doing good. Just hanging out and playing some more Cinderella Phenomenon. I've been obsessed with it lately. Besides, haven't you read your fairy tales? The caster cannot take a curse back. You need to focus on breaking the curse if you want your life back. Mother burned the books before I could read more than 1 or 2 of them. I do not think either involved curses, just genies and trading away your voice for legs. Thanks, I really appreciate that. I hope you're having a good day. It's good that you're awake, princess. Oops, I went back on accident. Parfait, should you really be up and about? Don't fuss, I'm feeling much better. Are you a witch as well? Oh no, my name is Parfait and I'm a fairy. A witch and a fairy in one room, being friendly with one another? Impossible. Oh, look at her face. You weren't expecting that at all, were you, princess? What's going on? I'm sure you have many questions, princess. How do you know I'm the princess? Don't be silly. She's a fairy. Of course she knows. I promise we'll do our best to answer your questions. I don't even know where to start. And now we get a bunch of questions. So we were cursed because we were not a nice person. To break the curse, we need to get 3 good deeds and get the pieces of the glass slipper back. If we don't break the curse, then we'll never go back home. They're working together because I guess good fairies and good witches work together. So we have no more questions. I'm good. What games do I usually play? I'm playing right now Cinderella Phenomenon, but I'm also playing Okami on some days and 99 Spirits on other days. It's just I tend to be a little more drawn to Cinderella Phenomenon because it's kind of mysterious, you know? 3 good deeds and I get my life back. Easier said than done. You said Cinderella, didn't you? Didn't you just go to a ball and find a prince? What does doing good have to do with that? I don't stream daily, but I do stream a couple days out of the week. I'm too tired and unmotivated to stream daily. Going to a ball, finding a prince, it's also old-fashioned. No fun in that. Cinderella is a girl with a pure heart. She's always willing to help others, even when they're cruel to her. Anyway, I brought some clothes for you. I'll leave them on the table. We'll be waiting outside. There are some people I'd like you to meet. I cannot believe this. I looked down at my neatly bandaged feet. I have to admit that while sore, they're nowhere near as painful as they'd been 2 days before. Here's some salve I made for you. It'll help with the pain. Why would she even care? I was the reason she lost her job at the palace. Oh, she probably doesn't remember me as the princess. But still, she has no reason to do such things for me. I ignore the salve for the time being and gingerly stand up, testing my feet for pain. The injury is definitely healing. I slowly walk over to the table and change into the clothes that have been left there. The dress is nowhere near as luxurious as the ones I wear in the palace, but it still is far improved from my rags. All my life I've never had to lift a finger, and now I will not let them see how much they have rattled me. I refuse to break. Just watch me. I will free myself from this curse. That's right. We are stubborn and hard-headed. What is this place? There are several people in the room chatting amiably with each other. I noticed the girl that had left me the salve by the counter, serving drinks. But as soon as the people in the room notice me, the room falls into immediate silence. Oof. Well, look at what we have here. The Ice Princess herself. Huh? They know who I am? I didn't think it was true. Cursed for her cold-heartedness. As to be expected. You remember who I am and yet you still treat me like this? Well, you aren't really a princess anymore, are you? You're one of us now, girl. Ugh. Everyone, please, you shouldn't be treating a newcomer like this. Yeah, because everybody hates us. Anyways. Princess, let me apologize. They mean no offense. I don't believe that. Yeah, I cannot believe that. Not when the people Parfait is referring to simply smirk and shrug as I meet their gazes. What is this place? Welcome to the Martian Tavern, a home for those with a fairy tale curse. You make it sound like some kind of holiday house. Don't ruin my moment, Delora. Martian Tavern? The Martian was built 3 years ago when the number of cursed and Angiel continued to rise. The goal is to gather those affected so they might help each other and break their curse. Of course, I'm also here to provide help as necessary. Only the cursed and those allied with our cause can stay here. The evil and the wicked can never find this place. Most of the people here are cursed. How come these people remember who I am? The cursed are not affected by the conditions of someone else's curse. Oh, okay, so last time we played, we romanced Karma, and Karma had a curse where when he was dressed as a man, women would just instantly fall in love with him, and he would be pursued by, like, all these women, but, like, mindlessly. They were just, like, consumed with lust for him. And, I always wondered why we weren't affected by that, but it's because we're both cursed, so that makes sense. Your condition is simple. Everyone has forgotten that you are the crown princess. But because these people here are cursed, they still remember your title. It goes without saying that fairies and witches are also not affected. Come, princess, let me introduce you to the few boarders we have at the March Inn. Parfait beckons the serving girl over. This is Anise. She helps out at the March Inn and does most of the cooking. I'm sure you understand why she's working here now. Yeah, because we fired her ass. Oof. I believe she deserves an apology. Miss Delora, what are you talking about? Don't you worry your sweet little head over it. You don't remember what this ice princess did to you. Huh? I have nothing to apologize for. Clumsiness did not befit a palace maid. I only did what was necessary. Well, it's nice to meet you, princess. I'm Anise Willow. I hope we get along. Really? This is how you're gonna start doing good? I don't believe I asked for your opinion. We're so snarky. Please, you two, no fighting. I hold my tongue as Parfait leads me to two people whose faces are incredibly familiar. Oh, hey! They're faces I've seen in the palace before. This is Jurian Valiant and Garlon Belrot. Ooh! How did you know? Both of you were in the Order of Caldera. That's right. They were two of Sir Alcaster's best knights. It was a big surprise when they both left a year ago. So, I'm also curious because in the last route, Sir Alcaster was like a big bad guy. And he was doing some bad stuff. Not to like spoil, but I'm interested to see if when we pursue somebody else, is the plot going to remain the same? And I wonder how they're going to like differentiate between the different routes. How'd you get the idea to start doing streaming? I actually got the idea from a streamer called Iron Mouse. She's in VShojo. She's really popular, and I really was inspired by her story of where she has like an illness and she continues to stream to make friends, and I really wanted to follow that kind of line of thinking. Yeah, Iron Mouse is a big inspiration of mine. Most of the VShojo girls are inspirations of mine, and I guess the VShoto boy. I haven't seen much of his work though. But I follow Iron Mouse. She's super cute. I only found out recently that it was because they acted against Sir Alcaster's orders. They were stripped of their titles and dishonorably discharged from service. What are you two doing here? These two were a big deal in the last playthrough, so I wonder if they're going to be a big deal here too. We help the fairies. They and Anise are exceptions and are allowed in this tavern without the curse. Jurian and Garland lend us their strength to help protect the merchant. Protect? From the witches. They'd do anything to make their curses remain unbroken. And what about you? I'm an exception. Also, I'm good. You keep forgetting the good part. Remember, not all witches are evil. Your curse is a test. A test? Originally, the wicked were cursed so that they could learn to change. Their curses were meant to teach them a lesson. I'm hoping your curse will teach you a lesson too, Princess. I really am only trying to help you. I don't need you to show me how to change. I just want my life back. Well, to do that, you'll have to break your curse. Huh. Try and make some friends, Princess. They might be able to help you break your curse. Oh, I'd love to hang around and watch the princess try to be friendly. We have work to do, Delora. Fine. Try not to make any more enemies, Princess. The instant Parfait and Delora leave the room, the temperature drops several degrees. Now that I'm alone, I feel the cold stares return. Disgust. Contempt. As if I'm the reason they're cursed and have to take refuge in the market in the first place. Make friends? All I've ever had are my dolls. I've never needed friends. I will break this curse on my own. I was told it was rude to stare. One man suddenly stands up, the anger apparent on his face. His hands clench and unclench into fists as he glares at me pointedly. Jurian and Garland place themselves in front of me, shielding me from the man. You know the rules. What happens in the past stays in the past. And no one is allowed to harm anyone else in the margin. If you cannot comply, you are no longer welcome here. Huh. No matter, the Ice Princess will get what's coming to her. Rude. I mean, we are kind of bad, but, I don't know if we deserve this kind of treatment. He throws one last glare my way before sitting down again. Break the rules and you'll get what's coming to you. That goes for everyone here. Jurian's tone is cold and firm, but there's no doubt that she means what she says. So these are the great knights of the Order of Caldera. The merchant begins to settle down, and everyone eventually goes back to their conversations and meals. I walk toward an empty table, realizing that I'm being deliberately ignored. I become immersed in my own thoughts as I sit down. One thought, however, comes to me immediately. I would go for a live model. I've been thinking about it, but I just love my PNG so much. She's so cute, and I feel so proud of, drawing and making her myself. I'm not a very good artist, so... They hate me. They hate me somehow when I've only ever left the palace twice in my life. How did this happen? The only people who treated me with any respect were Anise, Jurian, and Garland. Yeah, the people who don't remember you. Yeah, is it because they cannot remember who I am? Yeah, I think that's it. Maybe being in the market is not such a good idea. I doubt anyone here wants to help me break my curse. They'd probably rather see me suffer under its weight. 3 good deeds? How am I supposed to complete 3 when I don't even know if I can accomplish 1? May I join you? It's Karma! I look up and stare in shock at the beautiful lady from the toy shop. Her beauty still manages to take my breath away. What is she doing here? You were in the toy shop. Ah yes, I was there picking up some items for a friend. I'm humbled you still remember me. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Miss Karma. Your name is Karma? A suitable name for someone as beautiful as me, no? Ugh. Karma, your narcissism is going to scare the princess away. Hey, Waltz. Oh, you are that magician boy. Boy? Yeah, you are a boy right now. Don't be offended. Oh, how appropriate, boy. Call me that one more time and I'll ruin that pretty face of yours. Ugh. You would hit a lady? How savage. Anyway, I'm Waltz Criswell. I have the Neverland curse. What about you, princess? What's your fairy tale curse? Does everyone share what their curse is? We talk about it freely in the Marchen. The whole point is helping each other break our curses after all. Hard to do that if we keep our fairy tales quiet. He pauses and then narrows his eyes slightly. Well, some people keep their fairy tales a secret. He's talking about Karma. He eyes Karma briefly, cocking an eyebrow. The smile never leaves Karma's face. Has anyone managed to break their curse? I've been told that a few have. A few? That's not very reassuring. Well, at least the curses can be broken. I cannot particularly say that reassures me either. What ails you, darling? Is it your curse? You can talk to us about it. Tell us what it is. Cinderella. Oh goodness, Cinderella. That explains the nature of your curse, only it's been reversed, hasn't it? Riches to rags. That's one way of putting it. Karma, you're not helping. You really are better off ignoring him, princess. He speaks mostly nonsense. He? She's not affected by the curse, so there's no real reason to hide that you're a guy. Princess? Parfait's voice takes me by surprise. I hadn't even noticed her entering the room again. May I speak with you? Yeah, what's up, Parfait? I'd like you to meet someone, though I'm sure you already know him quite well. Ah, it's our stepbrother. Rod. Rod? So you really are cursed. I was the one that gave Sebby to Rod so that he still had some way to voice his opinions. Yeah, so Rod doesn't talk on his own. He uses the rabbit on his shoulder to talk, which I think is an interesting mechanic. I'm kind of curious to go down his route, but I really want to go down Rumpelstiltskin's route first, before we head anywhere near the royal family. Sebby. Short for Sebastian. Cute, isn't it? That's the rabbit on his shoulder. It's nice to meet you, princess. Sebby's voice changes when it greets me. The tone it uses is lower whenever it speaks for Rod. Perhaps that is what Rod's voice actually sounds like. Wait, if he remembers me, does that mean the mermaid's curse? What? That's my curse. Huh. Rod has been mute all this time because he's cursed? Does everyone else know? Obviously, they're my family. Even the king? He knows as well. Ooh. So I'm the only one you never told? I didn't think you'd particularly care either way. He's not wrong. Yet I cannot believe I did not know. I was left out once again. That'd be cool, Blackblade. Why don't you go ahead and go to my LinkedIn? Or not my LinkedIn, my Linktree. And I have an email on there that you can use if you want to talk about professional work. But I don't want to talk about professional stuff during stream. I just try to keep it lighthearted and friendly. What are you doing here? I have been trying to help Rod with his curse. That is why he comes to the merchant from time to time. But I don't even want... Ugh. Anyway, I only came here today to confirm you were truly cursed. I wanted to see it with my own eyes. It was a big surprise when I woke up one day and you weren't in the palace. An even bigger surprise when I found out that no one remembered you. It's been days since I was cursed. I wonder, how are things in the palace? Livelier. Happier. Happier? I've never seen my family happier than they are now. I'd say it's a good thing you aren't a princess anymore. Oof. I'd always thought Rod didn't really care about me regardless, but is this the truth? I think we're gonna keep quiet this time. Because last time I said, so this is how you truly feel, and I didn't get his indication that we got the right answer, so I think I'm just gonna stay quiet. Well, I guess we're not staying quiet. This is gonna be something else. You hate me. You have no right to start acting the victim now. Not when you've treated my family with such disrespect. The only reason I didn't say anything before is because Emmeline didn't want me to. Okay, so he's purple. I'm happier too, now that you're gone. I don't have to pretend to like you anymore. Huh. I'm going to return to the palace now. I'm gone and they're all happier. Your very existence has been erased in the palace. They've never known you. That doesn't mean they're happy without you. Even the king. What did I expect? Aw. Why did you bring me here? The people in the March Inn, they... I shouldn't have left you alone in there. I'm sorry. I don't pass around my Discord, Blackblade. Sorry. If she wants to message me on email, she's free to do that. I don't just pass out my Discord to everybody right now. I'm not in the position to do that. You knew how they felt about me. What have I ever done to them? I'm still just a newbie streamer, so... I only have a personal Discord, so I don't pass that around. Now isn't the right time to explain. When will it ever be the right time? So many things have already happened to you. I need you to be patient, Evillan. Has the prince already left? Yes, he has. Yeah, you can share your Discord to me, that's fine. Princess, we'll talk about this later. For now, you must focus on breaking your curse. Did I miss something? No. Right. Maybe the fairy is right. I don't think I'm ready to find out how I made so many people hate me. Well, Parfait, I think it's time we get down to business. What should we do with her? What are you talking about now? You, of course. You've got nowhere to go, right? She is right. I think back to the days I spent on the streets and shiver. I will do anything so long as I do not have to go back there. The princess can stay at the March Inn with me and the rest of my boarders. Huh? I'd almost forgotten what hope felt like. But you'll have to work in exchange for a room. I celebrated too soon. What? Magic has its limitations, just like anything else. Money doesn't appear out of thin air, not even for a fairy. The March Inn doesn't attract many customers since only the cursed and a few others can enter. I sell my potions here and there, but I have several hungry mouths to feed and my funds are tight. I thought fairies lived in luxury. Parfait, are you broke? Ouch, even the Ice Princess can tell. And yet you still take people in? That's always how Parfait operates. She's good-natured to a fault. I'm told suffocating beneath my debt will be what kills me. Oh my gosh. Me and you, Parfait. Me and you. Why don't you just leave? I assume you make enough to take care of yourself. Leaving someone who's in need of help? I could never. And that, princess, is how goodness works. How goodness works? It's not as if I accept freeloaders. All my boarders help me run the March Inn and do errands. The princess has never worked a day in her life. I doubt she'll be useful. If karma can be useful, anyone can. I've yet to see karma be anything but useless. Princess, you're more than welcome to stay if you're willing to help out. It's the least you can do in exchange for a roof over your head and 3 meals a day. Oh, and shoes. Yeah, shoes are kind of important. We don't have those. Do I even have a choice? Not really. This is your best option. I toss and turn in bed, unable to fall asleep. The mattress is hard and the sheets are itchy. Nothing at all like the bed I had in the palace. What I would give for my old bed again, for any of the comforts of home. I miss my dolls. Lady Parfait! Lady Parfait! I sit up immediately. Huh? What's going on? I leave my room to investigate. Some of the other March Inn boarders, Waltz, Durian, and Garland, are sitting on the settee, looking anxious. What's happening? Sorry, did we wake you? No, but the noises Garland was making would have woken the dead. Durian and I found an injured man while we were doing our rounds. We brought him here. An injured man? Wait, what were you doing outside? It's almost 1 in the morning. Yeah, I'd appreciate a follow, Blackblade, but no worries. You got plenty of time. I'm not going anywhere. Nothing you need to worry about. Lady Parfait and Anise are tending to the man now. These people, will they just help anyone they find on the streets? What if this man is dangerous? Do you think the witches got to him? It's possible. We'll have to find out when he wakes up. The next day, Parfait reveals that the man only suffered minor head injuries. She says that she expects him to wake soon. I'd look at the tray of food in my hands. Anise has asked me to bring it up to the stranger's room while she finishes the rest of her cooking. I would never have been asked to do this in the palace. Goodness, what's that poor tray done to you to deserve that look? I must say, it's odd to see the princess doing something nice for someone. What do you want? I have something to ask that man who was brought in last night. Seeing as you're being good enough to deliver breakfast, I thought I'd just tag along with you. If you're going, just bring this tray up yourself. You are not in any position to delegate your duties to me, Miss Evillan. Come on, our guest must be famished. Seeing no way out, I followed Delora to the spare room the man had been put in. Come in. And there he is, our next romance. I thought the man would have been old, but to my surprise, he looks young, probably in his early 20s. He seems lost in reverie as he stares at a small book. Good morning. Good to see you're awake and breathing. The man looks up at her when she speaks. The instant he sees us, his eyes widen. Why is he staring at us like that? Am I dead? What? What? I'm in heaven, or maybe you two are angels that have fallen out of it. Oh my gosh. I see. What can a humble gentleman like myself do for you, lovely ladies? Ugh. Ah, you could join me on this bed. It's very comfortable and there's plenty of room for both of you. That's so forward. I'll follow your lead on this one, princess. Princess? Ah, of course. Such a beautiful lady could only be a princess. Look at the noble way you hold up that tray. Oh my god. Okay, you need to like cool down, sir. Can I throw the tray at him? I'm tempted to let you. Feisty as well? Oh, be still my beating heart. There we go. Okay, so Rumpl's color is like this, like pinkish purple color. Thank goodness we're not romancing Rod, because his color is really similar. So that means the green must have been Walt's from earlier. Huh? Oh, he's awake. Another lovely lady has entered my chambers. I don't think my heart can handle the perfection of 3 of you at once. I like how he leaves all of us speechless. I think I know how Casanova here got those head injuries. Some lady decided she had enough of this rubbish and wanted to punish him. Delora, patience. He may not even be in the right state of mind right now. No, I think this is just how he is. He did take injuries to the head after all. The man finally stops to look just at me. He narrows his eyes and stares so hard I almost want to slap him. What? You're familiar. But no, it's impossible. Aren't you the crown princess? What are you doing here? He does remember us. If he knows, then he's definitely not a witch or a fairy. It can only mean one thing if he recognizes the ice princess. What is your name, good sir? I would answer any questions you ask me, madam, but... The man looks down at the notebook in his hand. I don't remember. Oh, amnesia? I know everything about Angielle, and yet I don't know the first thing about myself. Except that I have the Rumpelstiltskin curse. Rumpelstiltskin? Is that a fairy tale? I knew it. He's got the fairy tale curse. Fairy tale curse? Do you remember how to break it? From what I remember, I need to somehow collect 3 memories and get them to appear in this journal as entries. 3 seems to be the magic number. 3 good deeds, 3 memories. There's his little notebook. He shows us the notebook he has been holding on to since we entered the room. My first memory is of waking up and holding this. I thought there would be information in here, but it's empty. Another victim of the curse. You must be tired. Evillan will leave your breakfast here and will give you some time to yourself. We'll be outside if you need anything. Sucks to suck. Rumpelstiltskin. What is that fairy tale about? Here's the whole rundown of the Rumpelstiltskin story if you haven't heard of it, but Delora does not do a good job of hiding her laughter. She snorts and I cross my arms, embarrassed. Mother burnt the fairy tales in the palace before I got a chance to read all of them. Fine, I'll keep it short. Once upon a time there was a girl that was said to be able to spin straw into gold. The king found her and locked her up in a tower. He said he wouldn't let her out until she turned all the straw in the room into gold. But the girl was just a regular human girl. She knew that she'd never be able to turn the straw into gold and feared that she would be locked up forever. That was when an odd little man appeared before her and offered to do the job for her if she gave him something in return. The girl gave him her necklace and the man spent the rest of the night spinning the straw into gold. However, the girl wasn't released. The second night she was given more straw to spin, and the little man appeared once more. This time she gave him her ring. On the third night, the king ordered her to spin the straw one last time, and if she did, she would be released and made his queen. However, that night the girl had nothing left to give to the little man, so they made an agreement. He would spin the straw into gold for her so long as she gave him her first child. I personally never understood why the girl would want to marry the king in the first place. That's true. If the king had locked me up and was like, turn this straw into gold, like, I wouldn't be keen on marrying him, especially after he locked us up another night. Gosh, I'm trying to tell a story here. Sorry, Delora, sorry. Years passed and the queen finally gave birth to her first child. That night, the odd little man returned and demanded his due, but the queen didn't want to give up her child. The man then said that he wouldn't take the child if the queen was able to guess his name in 3 days. The man's name was Rumpelstiltskin. Did she guess it? Oh yeah. The night before her time was officially up, the queen was drawn to the forest by the sound of a little voice. She saw the little man celebrating his upcoming victory, singing about how nobody had or ever would guess his real name, which was Rumpelstiltskin. He does not sound particularly smart. So agrees the general populace. Sometimes I wonder how Hans was able to come up with such tall tales. Well, the merchant is opening soon. I expect another busy day. Especially busy for you, Evillan. You need to start coming up with good deeds. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Let's see. What chores are they going to give us? The amnesiac Casanova was allowed to stay at the merchant with the other boarders. Because he still seemed capable, Parfait set him to work as one of the merchant's servers. Anise protests that he remain in bed fell on deaf ears. Parfait couldn't very well throw him out, not while knowing that he had nowhere to go. I would be incapable of showing him such kindness given all the nonsense he spouts at us. The people that frequent the merchant began to steadily ignore me altogether, like I do not exist. It is better than the stares and the hateful looks. Rumpl, you aren't here to flirt. But this lovely lady is unattended. Sir Rumpl, please, you're making me blush. Because the man couldn't remember his name, he fashioned one from his own curse. Rumpl. I think it suits him. I will never understand, Parfait. This amorous waste of space is just about as good as karma. Speaking of karma, I've returned. Speak of the devil. Did you miss me? Karma had left abruptly yesterday, saying that she had something very important to take care of. Waltz trails in after her now, carrying several boxes in his arms. Why am I carrying these? Because you made me run that errand for you at the toy shop the other day. And because gentlemen carry things for ladies. I'm going to drop them now. Those boxes contain very important contents. Welcome home, Miss Karma. Nice to see you've survived the trip, Waltz. Thank you, Anise. So, this is our new housemate. We have not had the opportunity to meet. I am Oh goodness. Oh goodness. We are all surprised when Rumpl suddenly reaches out to grab Karma's hand. My life before this moment has been a depressing monochrome. Now that you have entered my bleak existence, I see everything in beautiful blazing color. And nothing shines more brightly, more vividly than you. I am Rumpl, my sweet. Let us talk of marriage. Oh my gosh. I stare at Karma, waiting for her to flirt back. At the very least, I expect her to wave Rumpl away for being a fool. But she remains eerily silent. Answer, my angel, I beg of you. Uh-oh. Keep? Say the word and it is done. Your filthy hands off of me. Oof. Got punched. Ow. Not again. I would never be interested in the likes of you. Go on, lad, give him a good beating, like the one you gave to me. My queen, there is no need for violence. What did you call me? Please calm down, Rumpl is still recovering. What is going on? Karma is a man. It doesn't take kindly to be flirted with. Or proposed to. Huh? She is a man? But your voice, your face, your breasts. Ow! That's what you're focusing on? Pervert. I worship all aspects of the female form, but my particular favorite has always been... Oof, more punches for this guy. He needs to learn how to shut up. Ow! Do yourself a favor and shut up. That's what I was saying. I never would have known, but why would he do this? So, Karma, when we learned from Karma, when we played through his story, that he's a man disguising himself as a woman because his curse causes women to, like, swarm him. So, disguised as a woman, it doesn't happen as often. And this guy is just Sir Casanova. Rumpl just loves to flirt with ladies, so he's getting on Karma's bad side. Don't look at me like that. I have my reasons. Is it because of your curse? Yes. I am undone. My heart is in pieces. You knew him for 10 minutes. For those that can hear the music of their heart, like I, it takes only a look to fall madly, irretrievably in love. I must leave. My heart will need time to heal. Oh my gosh. The merchant attracts all sorts, doesn't it? That one is it was entirely Parfait's fault. Alright, nothing to see here. Back to work. I'm still in shock from what I learned earlier. Karma, a man. It's not that surprising. It's not fair that he's so beautiful as a woman. That's true. If the female population of Angiel knew the truth, Karma would be hunted down for making the rest of us pale in comparison. Anise, being good, I suppose, prepared a special lunch to welcome the newest merchant boarders. We've all been invited to the private dining room. Excuse me, is Lady Parfait here? Hey, Rod. Prince Rod, perfect timing. Please join us for lunch. I only came to talk to you, Lady Parfait. But I'm hungry, and I've no wish to make you wait while I eat. Come join us. Please, Your Highness, I've made too much, as usual. You must help us finish. Very well. A cursed princess and a cursed prince. What an eccentric collection of friends you have, Lady Parfait. I wouldn't say they're eccentric, necessarily. You're the most eccentric one here, Rumpl. Really now? I sit silently in my chair. I'm uncomfortable around so many people. Even when Mother was alive, I had all my meals alone, since my parents were always too busy to sit down for meals with me. The meals with Ophelia and her children were also always awkward and silent. Somehow the atmosphere here is lively and friendly, even though I barely know anyone here. Is something wrong? Excuse me? You barely touched your food. Don't you like it? Dolores said this was one of your favorites. I'm just not used to eating with company, that's all. They say that sharing a meal brings the family closer together. Garland. Oof. Yeah, bad choice of words. I apologize. Closer together, huh? So, have you made any progress on how to do those good deeds, Princess? There's no way I'm admitting that I do not even know how to complete one. Oh, I forgot you're not so good on the doing good front. You are not very helpful. Why don't you ask someone to teach you how to do good? What? Well, that's not something you hear every day. As in, take some kind of lessons? If you're having so much trouble on your own, you should ask someone to give you some advice or teach you. It's as simple as that. What is this I hear? The princess needs advice? Well then, she's in luck. I happen to give the most excellent advice, and believe me when I say I can teach almost anything. The princess is indeed lucky, as I am available for teaching duties as well. No doubt I'd be the better choice, as I don't go about deceiving the world. Oh my goodness. Excuse me? There's a little bit of tension between these two. From one-sided flirting to bitter enemies, and all in the span of a few hours. The man broke my heart. Anyway, I'd also be happy to help you in any way I can, Princess. And I'm sure your stepbrother would be happy to help as well. Maybe not. I don't think I would be the best teacher for this sort of thing. I only teach others how to fight. Never mind the fact that Jurian herself still struggles to be good. What? You're lucky, aren't you? So many people are willing to help you. Why? Why are you all willing to help me? That's what we do at the Merchant. We help each other. Lesson number 1. Doing good means being helpful whenever one can. Just let any of us know if you want our help. Trust no one but yourself. You need not care for anyone but yourself. That's what Mother said, and the last few years have taught me. I've always been alone, and it's easier that way, and yet, these strangers, these people that I've only known for a few days, are so willing to help me when they will gain nothing in return. Is this the goodness I was meant to see, Father? How can I begin to trust and care for others when I have forgotten how to do so? I slowly began to understand what I must do. Chapter 2, The Decision. Alright. I don't see why this is necessary. Of course this is necessary, Princess. We work to show that you can be useful. For the last half hour, Parfait and Delora have been debating on what chores they want to give me. I cannot believe they're so serious. They're going to make me work, like a commoner. No freeloaders at the Merchant, remember? And you can't pull the princess card anymore now that you're a homeless peasant. Being demoted to a homeless peasant is not my fault. If you really think about it, it was kind of me to demote you. Ugh. Stop teasing her, Delora. Evillan has had a lot thrown at her lately. I'm only speaking the truth. Besides, working to live is the commoner's way of life, but at least it's rewarding. But if you do nothing, you get nothing. No food, no clothes, no bed. You are no longer a princess, Evillan. Life here at the Merchant is comfortable, and you need to work for comfort. Remember that. What you do is your choice, Princess. Do I even have a choice? Not really, no. Let's see. How about cooking duties? No way, she'd burn a salad. She could be a receptionist? Then we'd lose all our customers. That's probably true. I am right here, you know. Sorry. Do you have any useful skills at all? As the princess, I had servants who did everything for me. They cleaned my room, helped me dress. How am I expected to possess skills for things I have never done? Aha! Huh? I have found the perfect job for our Cinderella. Magic. Ta-da! Evillan will be in charge of sweeping the Merchant floors. What? Perfect. Even she should be able to do that. Could you, Princess? I refuse. But look, I even put a cute little ribbon on the brim just for you. It's your very own special broom. A princess does not clean. Hard-headed as ever. Don't worry, I have a fix for this. Dolores magic. Suddenly, the broom flies into my hands. I am pulled helplessly along as the thing begins to sweep the floors. I try to pull my hands away, but they might as well be glued to the broom. They do not budge. What have you done? You should be thanking me. I'm helping you with your duties. Delora, isn't this a little too much? Oh, nonsense. The princess is learning useful new skills. Mr. Broom will teach her everything she needs to know. If the floor is dirty, Mr. Broom will come to life and start sweeping, and it will not stop until the floors are spotless. What? Come on, Parfait, we've got time for a cup of tea. But she'll be fine. A little sweeping never killed anyone. That's true. You're dreadful. Enjoy your time with Mr. Broom. Wait, did they really just leave? Hey, slow down. The broom begins to sweep faster. Despite my protests, I'm still forced, like a puppet, to sweep the floors with grudging tenacity. Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. So pretty and shiny. I can barely catch my breath after that. Princess, Parfait sent me to check. How lovely. It's so clean I can see my reflection on the floorboards. I'm impressed. Do not even think about stepping into this room with your dirty shoes. Goodness, I didn't know princesses could be such terrifying creatures. You are aware that the merchant is opening soon, yes? The floor isn't going to stay clean forever. Then do not open the merchant. I do sympathize with you, Princess. It's difficult adjusting to the commoner's life. What would you know about that? More than you think. What? Oh, did I let that slip? That was my mistake. Karma just smiles at me, his eyes gleaming and with playful mischief. He's definitely hiding something. My hands are red and sore from all the sweeping I've done today. I remember the salve Niece offered me when I first woke up in my room. Surely that will help somewhat. I apply it to my hands and find, to my surprise, that it is very effective. Most of the redness quickly fades, along with the pain. Is this what my life will be like if I do not break the curse, forced to work day in and day out? I cannot let things stay as they are. I must act. I lay down to rest. Tiredness falls upon me like a heavy, suffocating blanket. I close my eyes and feel myself shift into the darkness of sleep. Despite having slept for hours, I'm still tired when I wake. I glance back at my hands and remember the salve's effectiveness. Whatever Niece gave me really works. I should ask her to make me more. I feel like this is not the last time I'll need it. I must act quickly. The sooner I break the curse, the better. The people who offered to help me are all here. Whom should I ask for help? So let's go hang out with Rumpl. I suppose I can ask Rumpl. Enough girls seem to like him, so he might have sound advice. I find Rumpl in between his orders and pull him aside. He looks oddly relieved. Ah, Princess, you've saved me. Saved you? From a heinous overload of work. I'm pretty sure Rumpl does less around here than me. At least I finish the work I'm given, unlike Rumpl who gets distracted by every single thing. Dear Evillan, if you've called me here, then you must want to confess something to me. What? Perhaps you'll confess your undying love for me? I scowl at him and cross my arms. I came to ask you for advice, but perhaps I'll go ask someone else. You came to ask my advice? Rumpl stares at me, clearly shocked. I guess it's because of all the people I would ask, he probably seems the least likely. Then I will assist, my sweet princess. What kind of advice are you looking for? Perhaps you'd like to learn how to make a man swoon, or how to stroke the embers of stroke the embers of the heart? Is flirting the only thing that is ever on his mind? I came because I wanted you to teach me about goodness. Goodness, my sweet, all the advice that I just suggested would teach you just that. Being romantic will not teach me how to do good. Rumpl dramatically places his hand over his heart. But being romantic is good. Don't you see the smiles on the lovely ladies' faces when I speak with them? I cannot imagine why they smile like that. Rumpl's persistence is annoying. To be romantic and loving, that is the epitome of goodness. Show someone affection and they will return it twofold. I can only stare at Rumpl as I wonder why I even decided to ask him. Or you could just be kind. Everyone is kind in their own way, princess. So, what do you say? Perhaps you'd like to practice on me? I'm sure your smile would brighten up my week. No, I'm certain of it. I have work. I quickly turn and leave before Rumpl can continue. I have to be romantic to earn a good deed? I'd rather be cursed like this forever. I stare in horror at the floor. Gravel and sand are embedded between the floorboards. The wood beneath my feet is covered in a thick muck. Oh, it's Mr. Broom. Oh no. Oh yes, it's time for us to sweep. Stop! I never thought I'd see this. The princess is actually sweeping. I'd say it's more like the broom is sweeping and the princess is just along for the ride. Lady Parfait, your orders have arrived. Where should I put them? At the back, please. Thank you. I glare at Garland as he begins to move. You! You're dirtying the floor. Sorry. Garland dashes across the floor with long steps in an attempt to leave as few footprints as possible. This was Dolores doing, wasn't it? Is it obvious? It has that witch having fun written all over it. I need water. Wow, completely spotless. You're the worst. Aww, poor Mr. Broom. Don't be mad at the broom, princess. It's only trying to help. It is doing nothing but making my life miserable. Lady Parfait, I must speak with you. I look up at the witch that has just entered. She's a regular at the March Inn, and according to Parfait and Delora, a good witch. She orders tea here from time to time. She has mud on her shoes. Why is she glaring at me like that? I believe it's because of your shoes, dear. I have just cleaned the floor. Oh, I'm sorry. I will clean up after myself right away. Good. The princess is something else. I've never seen a witch so frightened of someone before. Yeah. The witch hurriedly cleans up the tracks she'd made before coming in, whoa, hold on. The witch hurriedly cleans up the tracks she'd made coming in before going to speak with Parfait. I don't know why that was so hard to read. Even though Parfait says that Delora and this witch is good, I do not trust her judgment. Especially not when she considers Delora, who ruined my life, a good person. I put the broom back in its resting place before double-checking my work. Now that I'm done, I continue to work on breaking my curse. Whom should I ask for help today? I kind of want to ask Rumpl again. I would also I want to ask Rod too. I don't think these choices in the beginning do anything. Not until chapter 3, when we choose our partner. Let's talk to Rumpl again. I find Rumpl taking a break at one of the tables. Surprisingly, he is by himself and not surrounded by the usual blushing ladies. You're not surrounded by a flock of ladies? You must have done something to offend them. Rumpl looks at me, the surprise apparent on his face. Princess, have you come to mend my broken heart? Excuse me? I was speaking with a lady here only hours ago when she told me that she was betrothed to someone else. That happened hours ago and you're still sitting here? Rumpl places his chin on the palm of his hand, looking very tired. In mourning, the heart is a fragile thing, princess. Won't you help heal my shattered heart? Ugh. Rumpl stares at me when I do not answer. That would count as a good deed, you know. Helping you would count as a good deed. Doing things out of kindness of your heart is a good deed, princess. The kindness of my heart. Why would I want to help you when you've done nothing for me? Kindness isn't a thing that needs to necessarily be returned, princess. Single instances of affection can make a heart lighter. Why does he always go through the trouble of making his words sound so much fancier? I want to help you mend your broken heart because that would be an act of stupidity, not kindness. Oof. Rumpl's shoulders slump as he frowns. Ah, now my heart is even more fragmented. You suffer from a broken heart every day you are rejected. Of course, because to pour your heart out to someone only to be rejected is a cruel fate, princess. You probably deserved rejection with the way you flirt with everyone, so no, I'm not going to help you. Deal with your own broken heart. I turn around and walk away. The acts Rumpl puts on are annoying. A month has passed and I've yet to complete even one good deed. Not for any lack of trying, though. I've been asking around for advice on how to be a good person and received various answers. What makes someone good? I'd say being selfless. I think it's important you consider another person's feelings. Patience. The ability to soothe even the most broken of hearts. Forget I asked. Bravery. Loyalty. You must be beautiful both on the inside and out. Right. It's a lot of good advice, but it's all kind of like difficult to follow advice. Like, how do you even follow up on being brave and loyal? Especially when no one likes you. Must I be all those things in order to be good? According to Parfait, I cannot just pretend. It has to come from my heart. I place my hand on my chest and consider the steady pulse of my heartbeat. That will not be easy. I close my eyes, thinking of all the possible ways I might be able to break my curse, but in the end, my mind is blank. Mother, what am I supposed to do? A dream? Your personal feelings are nothing but a weakness for others to exploit. That is why you do not show them. You only show them that you are strong. Yes, Mother. You must not let false kindness deceive you. People will use niceties to trick you into exploiting your weak emotions. But you can trust me, Evillan. I will never hurt you. I will never lie to you. I'm all you need. As that Mother Gothel song coming into my head again. Mother knows best. Listen to your mother. I love you, Evillan. I love you too, Mother. How are those lessons of yours going? I hope you're not giving anyone a difficult time. I'm the only one having a difficult time. Have you tried pairing up with someone? Pairing up? Some of the people in the tavern pair up to assist each other. 2 heads are better than 1, as they say. It's not a bad idea, but the problem is her. Who's going to volunteer to pair up with the Ice Princess? Ugh. She has a point. People may not glare at me anymore, but it does not escape me that I'm still disliked. Most of the boarders of the Marchand have volunteered to help her, remember? And I haven't heard any of them retract their offers. It's only a matter of time. Well, that's a way to have a sour look, Delora. It's kind of rude. Yeah, stop it, Delora. It's your choice, Princess. Pairing up is only a suggestion. Pairing up? Would pairing up with someone really help me break my curse? What if they end up being an annoyance instead? Princess? Ugh. Excuse me, Princess? Huh? I'm sorry for disturbing you, but you've just been staring at your tray and the customer is waiting for his order. Of course. Delora has me helping a niece today. The Marchand is unexpectedly busy and they cannot keep up with all the customers. Stop daydreaming, Evillan. Food doesn't deliver itself. I do not need you to tell me that. I stretch out on my bed. The stiff mattress does little to soothe my aching muscles. I was on my feet the entire day, struggling to keep up with the steady stream of people that came into the Marchand. I have never seen the Marchand this busy. I roll onto my stomach and bury my face in my pillow. My arms and legs protest the movement. I refuse to live this type of life much longer. I need to break this curse as soon as possible. Why don't you pair up with someone? Pairing up might not be such a bad idea. Who to pair up with? Gonna get our choices? Okay, so Fritz and Waltz are still locked. So let's save this. We'll save it. Common Route Chapter 2, Common Route Selection. Okay, so we want this one. The same save file. We went for Karma last time. Today we're gonna go for Rumpl. The Flatterer. I do not know why the first person that popped into my mind was Rumpl. Just because he puts a smile on ladies' faces with his flirting does not mean he can help me do a good deed. And yet, here I am. Yep, new chapter. I find Rumpl on break, surrounded by a few giggling ladies. His hands make dramatic sweeping gestures as he showers them with compliments. And you, my sweet, are like sunshine peeking through the clouds on a dark day. You litter the ground with so much golden light and make every flower reach out towards your warmth. On second thought, maybe I should reconsider. Princess! Rumpl notices me, however, and immediately waves me over. First choice. Let's see. I think the bad choice is walking towards him. I think we should just turn and walk away. We're kind of like not into him right now. I just remembered that I have something to do. I turn around to start walking away, but I'm immediately stopped when I feel Rumpl's hand on my shoulder. I slap his hand away. Fierce as always. You remind me of a rose with thorns, princess. He leans closer and winks at me. But the thorns are what makes a rose so alluring. Are you always so persistent, or do you actually want me to slap you again? Your slapping me is but a small blockade in the road. I will never give up on you, princess. Does he enjoy it when I purposefully try to ignore him? The most brilliant, sparkling gems are buried deep within the ground and take much effort to unearth. What? Princess, you're like one of those gems. No, I'm not a gem. Yes, good girl points. Hell yeah. No, I'm not like a gem. Rumpl, why are you dealing with someone like her? What? Evillan is like a budding flower, and I want to do my best to help her bloom in whatever way that I can. You come to me for advice, right? How did he know? The look of shock on your face is adorable and so absolutely satisfying. It seems I hit the nail right on the head. Rumpl, she's obviously too stubborn to admit that she needs your help. These women are infuriating. Ew. Rumpl leans a little closer to me and suddenly he's whispering in my ear. Let me tell you something, princess. Making a person happy just to see them smile is definitely a good deed. Huh? Making someone feel important is never a disservice. What do you think? I'm pretty knowledgeable, aren't I? All he ever talks about is doting on people, flirting with them, and making them smile. Rumpl continues talking, which is why I will make an excellent partner. I take a step back. Rumpl is now looking at me with a triumphant smile. How did you... I'm very perceptive, princess. Apparently. You overheard my conversation with Parfait? She told me about it. Oh, okay. Maybe not as perceptive as I thought you were. She did? Only briefly. So you're not perceptive at all. That's what I was saying. Ugh. Princess, you cannot see it, but I'm drowning in my own tears. Oh my gosh, so dramatic. He just assumed I was going to be partners with him, which is very annoying. I do not even know why I was considering partnering up with Rumpl when he says the same things over and over again. And I do not think I could be around him day in and out. Oh my, what do I spot here? Delora appears before us, a sly smile on her face. Slacking off, you two? I'm on a break. That break ended about 5 minutes ago, Rumpl. And princess, I think there's a broom that needs attending. Fine. There's no use complaining, and I would rather get away from Rumpl. Rumpl turns to the ladies and smiles. My lovely ladies, I will be back later, and I promise that we will continue our conversation without any interruptions. Oh, and princess, we'll continue our conversation later as well. Ugh. I walk off before Rumpl can try to shower more of his compliments onto me. Making a person happy just to see them smile. Can such a thing really be considered a good deed? The days at the tavern go by quickly over the next week. Princess? Princess? You've been staring off into space. I was just thinking. I just finished using Mr. Broom, and now I'm helping Anise sort some of the shelves in the back. Rumpl has taken up the serving for the day. The women always enjoy him, but the men are always glaring at him. I imagine. They're jealous of Rumpl, I think. Who? The other men. Anise looks over at the men that are glaring at Rumpl as he drifts between tables. I'm worried about Rumpl too. What are you talking about? You were looking at Rumpl with a funny expression on your face. No, I wasn't. My words are clipped, my voice is cold. Anise looks at me sadly, but I do not care. What I do is none of her business. I think the girls are jealous of you, too. What? I glance around the tavern and notice there are girls glowering at me. I'm not unaccustomed to these glares, since people have always looked at me this way. During the times I left the palace, people gave me the same looks, but this feels different somehow. Why would they be jealous? Because you're Rumpl's partner. I am not his partner. You're not? He's been telling everyone that you are. Uh-oh. Well, cat's out of the bag, I guess. I never agreed to being partners with him. I felt your longing gaze upon my back, and I have arrived, my princess. Rumpl suddenly appears before the two of us, smiling brightly. I suddenly have the strong urge to slap the smile right off his face. We are not partners. But princess, you asked for my advice that I gave to you because I care. No one else cares as much about you as I. Oh, that sounds like our mother. And so I proclaimed us both partners because we are a match made in heaven. Ugh. You're so overwhelmed with gratitude that you're at a loss for words. If I could throw something at you, I would. A punch packed with as much strength as your love. I only groan in response. Oh my. Hello, everyone. It sounds like you're having fun. How is this fun? Rumpl is never fun. All he does is spout nonsense. Oof. He doesn't mean any harm, princess. He's just filled to the brim with so many compliments, and he needs to get them off his chest. Well, he can go direct them at one of the many other adoring fans. I shift my gaze to Rumpl and furrow my eyebrows at him. Or do you only direct them at me because you enjoy how much I ignore you? I only wanted to help, princess. That's what partners do, right? But we are not partners. Just try this partnership out, princess. I promise it will be worth your while. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, princess. You can always change partners. Lady Parfait, you've broken my heart. You're very good at healing your own broken heart by now, Rumpl. That's true. That's true. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt. I only need to speak with Anise to make sure that she doesn't need any help with the particular list. A list? A list of herbs for me. Anise has been nice enough to gather herbs for me. Lady Parfait, is this about your body? What's wrong with your body? It's nothing to concern yourself with, princess. My body is just a little frail because of the burden on it. Oh, we didn't hear about this last time. That's right, Parfait mentioned having to bear the... Oh, she's the light crystal bearer. Oh, okay. A thought occurs to me as I look at her more closely. Wait, couldn't you use magic to heal yourself? Parfait shakes her head and sighs. I don't have the ability to heal. None of us do, except for one witch who calls herself the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor? Is something wrong? Rumpl shakes his head and gives her a wistful smile. That name just sounds familiar. It's likely you heard about her from someone else before. Humans do know of her existence, after all. A witch? She's not a fairy? For some reason, I had thought fairies would be more likely to heal people, not witches. She's indeed a witch, that is what they say. Though I have never met her myself. She's the only one who can heal illnesses with magic. She doesn't associate with other witches, though, and keeps to herself. Nobody has known where to find her for a very long time. Suffice it to say, we can never seek out help from her, even if we wanted to. Parfait shakes her head. No, unfortunately not. Rumpl looks grim, but Parfait quickly dissipates the gloomy atmosphere with a clap of her hands. If Delora was here, she would say, "All right, story time is over." That was all very interesting. Interesting does not really help anyone. Your body is the way that it is because of the Great War, then? Like I told you before, the Great War has made my body a lot weaker. This is something that cannot be healed, and I don't have an heir, so... Parfait looks about ready to say something, but goes silent. She has a sad look on her face, and I don't understand why. Anise immediately speaks up. I think I'll be okay, Lady Parfait. I was actually going to go on an errand run in a few minutes. Do you need any help? I'd be more than happy to escort a lovely lady like yourself around town. Anise pulls out a list from a bag nearby and holds it out. There are only a few items on the list as far as I can see. Don't worry about it, Rumpl. It's not that much at all. Rumpl stares at the list. His expression suddenly smooths into something more serious. May I have that? Anise hands him the list, and slowly he takes a pen out from his pocket. I stare as he looks over the list quietly and then scribbles some things down on the bottom. Afterwards, he hands it over to Anise. I've added some things that might be helpful. The herbs on that list are for joint pains, and you might want something a little more general. How does he know all that? Everyone is staring at Rumpl with wide eyes. Even Parfait looks impressed. You've used herbs before, Rumpl? Maybe. I don't remember. But for some reason, names came to the top of my head when I was looking at that list. Thank you. It's always my pleasure to help a lovely lady. Now, Anise, please let me accompany you to town. I would love to help with whatever I can, and more names might come to me. That sounds nice. Thank you, Rumpl. Rumpl turns to me, a mischievous smile on his face. Whenever he looks at me like that, I know he's going to just suggest something ridiculous. Princess Evillan should accompany us, for the experience. I do not need experience. How are you going to shower people with compliments if you know nothing about them? Being out in town will be good for you. Rumpl has a point. The more you expand your world, the more willing you are to learn more about people. I do not need to be lectured. Oh, Princess, it wasn't meant to be a lecture. I'm just letting you know that experience is invaluable. Come on, Princess, let us escort the lovely Anise around town. What about your work? Rumpl puts a finger to my lip and grins. No one seems to have thought of that, so it will be our little secret. Ugh! I slap his hand away, but he just grins at me jovially. How did I get dragged into this? Please, don't stay out too long. We won't. I make my way into town with Rumpl and Anise. The majority of our conversations are one-sided, with Rumpl giving us both usual compliments. He never seems to tire of it. Rumpl helps Anise pick certain herbs and a few other medications, and accepts all the compliments she gives him with a triumphant smile. I know Anise knows about herbs because she's helped me before, but how does Rumpl know so much about them? This must be part of the past that he doesn't remember. Anise enters the store by herself at one point, leaving me alone with Rumpl. I'm a mysterious man, aren't I? I turn to look at him and notice the easy smile adorning his face. A man with amnesia is full of secrets after all. I bet you're even more curious about me. Women always love mysterious men. I don't know about that. I do not particularly care. But Princess, if my curse is amnesia, then shouldn't you care somehow? As partners, we're going to help each other out, right? I do not see how I can help you with your amnesia. Maybe this is a spell that is only broken by true love's kiss. Shall we see? Oh my gosh. Stay away from me. He leans towards me, a playful smile on his face. I'm accustomed to this behavior by now, so it does not faze me, and I merely sigh at his nonsense. You already said yourself that you need to gather entries from some kind of journal. Princess, you're no fun. A little kiss wouldn't hurt anyone. I would die before I kiss you. Princess, that's so sad. He says that, but he's still smiling. Why is he so unfazed by everything I say to him? You only have terrible suggestions. It was a mistake to trust you might have good advice. But I have great ideas. You haven't helped my curse at all. I've been trying, though. You haven't even told me how to get a good deed. I told you before, Princess. Compliments make a person happy, and making a person happy is a good deed. So you flirting with women and using shallow compliments on them is a good deed? On the surface, the compliments may seem shallow, but if you swim a little deeper, complimenting people cannot be a good deed. But making them happy is. All you have to do is listen to people, sympathize with them, maybe get to know them, and you can make them happy by doing even small things for them. Women enjoy their compliments, Princess. Besides, how could I see such beauties and not compliment them? It would be a disservice. You give compliments to people you do not even care about. Princess. Rumpl's voice trails off as he stares past me. His smile falters for a few moments and a look of confusion ripples his features. I turn to follow his gaze and see a small boy staring at us. He is shyly hiding behind some kind of notebook. Hey little kid. There's that seriousness again. It was the same thing that happened when he added something to the list for Parfait. Then suddenly, the expression changes into Rumpl's usually bright smile. Hello there, would you like to come and speak with us, young sir? You don't remember me, sir? Oh, do I know you? I used to come to your clinic. You saved me before. The boy draws closer to us, still hiding shyly behind his notebook. I'm sorry, little sir. I'm afraid that my memories are a bit scrambled right now. I can't even remember my own name. Really? Is he gonna tell us what his name is? Where is Anise? Why is she taking so long? The last thing I want to hear is a conversation between Rumpl and some child. Is he going to shower this boy with compliments too? It's a shame, and I can't remember a boy as bright as yourself. And there it is. I'm not that bright, sir. Not as bright as you, but I want to be. He holds up his notebook, which is a small name scribbled on the corner. The words, "My dreams," are written on the front cover in cursive letters. What's this? I want to be just like you when I grow up. So I started a book of dreams, just like my mom told me to. She said I could become a doctor too, so long as I tried my best. A doctor? You forgot that you were a doctor, sir? Oh, he was a doctor. That's why he knows all those herbs. Rumpl, a doctor? The boy continues to hold out the book, and finally Rumpl takes it and flips it open to the front page. Rumpl is holding the book close to his face, so I cannot see it. I rise to the tips of my toes and attempt to look over his shoulder. At first, Rumpl does not notice me as he stares at the page. Then, belatedly, he realizes that I'm there and lowers the book so that I can read too. I lean so close to him that our shoulders brush. My eyes scan over the page quickly. The handwriting is crude, barely readable actually, but I can make out the gist of it. Rumpl slowly reads the words aloud. When I'm older, I want to be exactly like the kind doctor that saved me when I had no one else to go to. The boy's face flushes as Rumpl reads his words aloud before his curious gaze lands on me. I don't remember you. I look at the boy, irritated. Are you the doctor's wife? Rumpl suddenly looks up, eyes wide. He looks down at the boy and then at me, his face suddenly solemn. I'm surprised by the words that leave his mouth next. Yes, she is. Oh, I don't know how to feel about that. He takes my hand in his and looks down at me, an almost sad look on his face. What is wrong with him? I don't think we're gonna slap him. I think we should pull our hand away. I think we should just pull our hand away. He has such a strange look on his face. Slowly, I try to pull my hand away, but Rumpl holds tightly to it. The sadness in his eyes becomes intense anxiety, and I see something like fear dancing in his eyes. You really think it was my fault? What? Sir? Rumpl squeezes my hand a little too tightly. He looks at me desperately. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Huh? Let me go. I finally manage to pry my hand free. Rumpl looks at me for a few moments, almost bewildered, and then suddenly his eyes widen. He looks back at the journal, then at me. Oh, I think I blanked out. I'm sorry, Princess. All at once, the sheepish smile breaks into something cheerful again. He's still smiling at me, even though I was so curt with him. Rumpl's so confusing. The boy looks bewildered. Don't worry about that, little sir. This one here is a feisty thing. I deserve whatever she just did. So she's not your wife, sir? Rumpl looks a little surprised, then he laughs. Unfortunately, no, the beautiful lady here is not my wife. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go back because I don't think we got the right choice. I'm gonna go ahead just a little bit more, but then I'm gonna go back and slap him instead. Rumpl absently rubs the back of his neck as he looks up at the sky. I'm not entirely sure of what just happened, but it seems like I recovered something very important today, or the beginnings of something important. Something important? Is he talking about a memory? He hands the book back to the boy and then leans down and sets a hand on the boy's head. Yeah, okay, we're gonna go back. Oops, I wanna load. Yes, I wanna do that. Okay, we're gonna slap him this time. Let go of me! Rumpl's eyes crease with worry as he holds tightly to my hand. The sadness in his eyes becomes anxiety, and I see something like fear dancing in his eyes. You really think it was my fault? The look in his eyes is so vacant, almost like he's looking through me. It's as if he's in some kind of trance. The way he looks makes my skin crawl. His grip on my hand tightens, making me shudder. Rather than slap his hand away, I reach out with my free hand and slap his face. I stare, perplexed at the sudden bafflement on Rumpl's face. Did the slap to the face knock him out of that strange trance? Maybe he's being even stranger than normal, and the intensity of the look in his eyes is scaring me. Ugh. Rumpl stares at me for a few moments, blinking slowly. Oh no, I blinked out. I'm sorry, princess. What just happened to him? The way he was speaking was so strange, almost like he was in some kind of trance, but I know how people are. They lie and put on faces. I'm sorry for spacing out. If I invaded your space, then I'm sorry. You're apologizing? Rumpl puts a hand to his cheek where I slapped him. I think I deserved that. Thanks for getting me out of whatever that was. Alright, there we go. There's our good girl points. Hell yeah. Sometimes you just need a good slap. All at once, the sheepish smile breaks out into something cheerful again. Blah, blah, blah. The boy looks bewildered. She's not your wife. Unfortunately, no, the beautiful lady here is not my wife. Rumpl absently rubs the back of his neck as he looks up at the sky. I'm not entirely sure what just happened, but it seems like I recovered something very important today. Or the beginnings of something important. Something important? Is he talking about a memory? He hands the book back to the boy and then leans down and sets a hand on the boy's head. A bell chimes behind us as a niece comes out of the store, carrying a bag filled with what I assume are herbs and medicines. The boy once again cowers behind his book. Oh, who's this? The wonderful little sir that helped me regain a very important memory. An important memory? Rumpl stands, looking triumphant. I, my good lady, am a doctor. Oh, really? Truly. Rumpl turns back to the boy, who he asks a few more questions. He even asks the boy's name, but much to my surprise, the boy shakes his head. I'm sure you told me your name, but I don't remember it. It is like my curse. No one remembers me being a princess, and no one remembers Rumpl's true name. Rumpl thanks the boy again many times over and even buys him a few pieces of candy. The boy's eyes are practically glowing with excitement, and he does not stop smiling. After we see him off and start to head back to the tavern, I begin to contemplate. I am curious about something. Oh? You said that you needed to fill your journal with memories in order to get them back, but the journal you just read wasn't yours. It appears not. It seems that the 3 entries that trigger my memories just need to be written by people I know. Reading them triggers a memory, and then the full entry probably appears in my journal. I ought to check it when I get back. I see. But even without looking into the entry, a memory came to your mind? Rumpl gives a short, distracted nod. It's not complete, so I'm hoping that something really has appeared in my journal. It feels like it must, considering I remembered something so important. Do you remember anything else at all? The young man that we just met, I believe that he used to come watch me work before. I knew him. He used to look up to me. He was a sweet child. The memory is foggy, but yes, I believe something did happen to him. He became ill. The details of how I saved him must be in the journal. Even though this does not pertain to my curse, I am curious what his journal might say. I can't remember fully, but the memory feels sad somehow. He turns to me, eyebrows knit together. It's strange to see him with such a serious expression on his face. I really am sorry about earlier, princess. I think I was on the verge of a memory, but then it got tangled up in my head. I'm surprised by his sudden change in topic. I shake my head slowly. He's quiet for a few moments before suddenly his smile comes back and he laughs jovially, telling us that there's no point in worrying. At the town's outskirts, I turn, feeling eyes on my back, but no one is there. Ooh, are we gonna get kidnapped again? We give Parfait the medicines we purchased in town as soon as we arrive back at the merchant. Then Rumpl proudly announces that he is a doctor to anyone that will listen to him. Everyone seems happy for him, save for the merchant patrons that find Rumpl annoying, who are mostly men. Afterwards, Rumpl asks Anise if he might be able to take over the medicines for Parfait, if only because Anise is busier than him. Rumpl hasn't been at the merchant long, and yet he's already found something to help break his curse. And then there's me. I do not think anyone will be able to help me. At the end of the night, when I finally have time to myself, I return to my room to rest. The next day, I'm sent right back to my chores. Rumpl is nowhere to be seen in the morning, and Anise says it's because he's tending to Parfait. He appears later in the afternoon, still full of smiles and silly flattery as he goes back to serving. How does he have so much energy? At the end of the day, I plop down on the settee to rest. My legs are weak from all the walking I've done today. I can still feel the tiredness in my arms from all the sweeping with Mr. Broom. Princess? I notice Anise standing beneath the doorway, smiling at me uncertainly. Thank you for your work today. Why is she thanking me for work I obviously do not want to do? It's not as if I've asked to do any of this. But you still help. Anise nervously shifts on her feet. So I just wanted to say thanks. When I do not make an effort to continue speaking with her, Anise gives a nervous little nod before heading back towards her room. Not long after her departure, I hear an exuberant and familiar voice. I should count my lucky stars, for they are giving me a rare opportunity to meet with my lovely princess this late at night. I should have gone to my room. Rumpl stops before me, winking. The moonlight on your face makes your beautiful eyes sparkle like the most precious gold, princess. That's a nice line considering our eyes are yellow. I'm not in the mood for your flattery. But princess, flattery is just a compilation of compliments. Everyone loves compliments. I do not care for your compliments. Or Lady Anise's thanks, either. You heard that? You should learn to let people spoil you. I stare at him. That is the last thing I'd ever expected anyone to say. My whole life I've been called spoiled and rotten, the Ice Princess. Even Delora and Parfait want me to do these good deeds because they think I'm incapable of goodness. I clench my fists and continue to stare at him, not understanding the swell of emotions inside me. Why is he being so nice to me? Your first lesson is learning how to let people spoil you. He draws back his hand, reaches into his pocket, and presents me with a small yellow bag. What's this? For you, my sweet princess. Okay. We're gonna save over this. And, well, he wants us to be spoiled a little bit, so we should probably accept the gift, I think. I'm not used to receiving gifts out of the blue. What a shame. I thought I would give you so many gifts if I could, princess. Why? Because people are moved by gifts when they come from the heart. I take the small bag from Rumpl's hand and look at it for a few moments. Besides, this is also a thank you and an apology gift. Thank you for accepting me as your partner, and an apology for my behavior yesterday. I don't remember what I did, but both you and the boy seemed frightened. I look down at the little bag. I open it up, and inside is a little white chocolate piece fashioned into the shape of a flower. A lily. It is not much, but you absolutely must accept it, princess. Otherwise my guilt would drown me in the dark shadows of sorrow for the rest of the time. Lilies are my favorite flower. They say you give a white lily to someone you enjoy spending time with. Oh, and in floral language, they also stand for purity and majesty. He winks at me. Perfect for you, princess. Why? Why what? Why would you give this to me? No matter what you say about doing nice things for people, I don't see how that applies to me. And why would you thank me for being your partner? I did not even want to be your partner at first. But you do now? I'm unable to withhold my surprise. Rumpl raises an eyebrow and then sighs. Princess, you don't trust compliments, do you? Mother always told me that people were two-sided. They'd say anything to make you believe they were your friend. No. Never fear, my sweet princess. I'll make sure to compliment you until you learn to accept them. But... no buts. I derive my happiness from making ladies like yourself happy. The compliments may seem strange to you, but don't worry, you'll see it in time. See what? The connections between people. You assume I'm just a flirt, but I get to know an awful lot about people. It's the reason I can guess so much about you. What could Rumpl possibly know about me? So, what do you think? Are you more attracted to me now because of my mysterious aura or my doctorly sophistication? He leans closer to me, his eyes sparkling. I could be your own personal doctor. Oh my goodness. I will slap you if you touch me again. Yeah, I think you're against that one. Rumpl pulls back and raises both hands in surrender, but the smile does not leave his face. You really are hopeless, aren't you? Do you think so? I thought that the events from today might have proven otherwise. Oh, speaking of which, I read over my journal earlier. Okay, This does not seem to be going the way that I wanted it to. So we're, oh, nope, we don't want to save, we want to load this. We're gonna refuse his gift. I cannot accept your gift. But Princess, my advice. You've no reason to spoil me. Princess, this is what I've been trying to explain to you all day. You don't need a reason to spoil someone. It doesn't always have to be about paying someone back. Rumpl smiles, a little sheepishly. Then he places the bag in my hand and curls my fingers around it. Okay, so he gives it to us anyways. You deserve nice things, Princess. You barely know me, and yet you still say that? Barely know you. We may not have known each other personally, but that doesn't mean I don't know enough about you. I'm giving you this gift because I truly want you to have it. There's the good girl points we're looking for. Besides, this is both a thank you and an apology gift. Yeah. About your partner. Very sweet. Look down in the bag. It's a lily. Lilies are my favorite flower. Lilies are also my favorite flower too. I like lotus flowers and like white lilies. I think they're pretty. Why what? Why would you give this to me? Yeah, you do things that are nice to people. I didn't want to be your partner at first, but you do now? Yep. Don't trust compliments. Never fear. I'll make you accept all my compliments, he says. Let's see. Rumpl pulls back and raises both of his hands in surrender. You really are hopeless, aren't you? I read over my journal earlier. His expression becomes oddly solemn. Shall I enlighten you? Why would you tell me all of this? Oh, you're not interested? I thought you might be, since I was your partner. If I don't listen to you, you'll still tell me regardless, so feel free to share. Rumpl sighs as he flips the journal open. Unfortunately, it was not much. The memory began coming together again as I was reading, but a lot of it still doesn't make sense. I glanced down at the entry he has stopped at. Look at the bottom of the page, Princess. I follow his gaze to the bottom of the page and pause, noticing a conspicuous gap. There's no signature, and I always sign the end of every entry I write. I wonder if that might be the final piece of the puzzle. Oh, the final piece of your curse? Yeah, his name. If my name refuses to show up in the book, it may very well be the final memory I need to regain. You believe that the signature will be what gives you your true name, then? I have a feeling that might be the case. It was the first thing I noticed when the entry appeared. That would explain why the boy in town didn't know my name earlier. And there's something else. Something else that's missing? The journal entry is cryptic at best, vague, almost like an incomplete puzzle piece. I stare at him, not understanding. Slowly, Rumpl begins to explain. It says here that the boy's family rushed him to my clinic. He had a terminal illness that I could not cure. He was at death's door and I couldn't save him. But he's still alive, isn't he? He even said you saved him. Yes, there is a resolution in the journal, but it is not very helpful. I glance down at the journal entry as Rumpl continues to speak. I refused to give up. I knew there had to be a way to save the boy. I never gave up on my patients. In the journal entry, I describe someone who came to help me save the boy. He lifts the book and points to the words, reading them aloud. I met her for the first time tonight. She told me she had some way to help the boy, so we struck a deal. I hope I do not come to regret this. He snaps the journal shut, startling me. He sighs as he runs a hand through his hair. That's it. Someone helped me somehow, and I made a deal. I'm assuming this is related to my curse, but I can't say how. Why did you write so vaguely? I wish I could ask my past self that same question. So in the end, you're still not sure when you were cursed. Rumpl pauses and then shakes his head. I believe it started here, not the curse, but the events that led to it. There's a reason this is the first memory to be triggered. It's important. For a few moments, the two of us are quiet. Rumpl's curse is a mystery, not because he's hiding it like Karma is, but because he doesn't understand it himself. After a few moments, Rumpl begins to laugh, breaking the silence. I look at him, startled. What's so funny? Oh, it's not funny. It's just, this is all very mysterious, isn't it? Yes, it is very mysterious. And my mysterious past makes me more alluring, doesn't it? I'll have to give you that one. I am allured, wanting to know your past. Only Rumpl could take such a serious moment and change it into this. Well, what do you think, Princess? Are you drawn into the mystery of it? Yes, we are. I have no choice. You'd tell me even if I didn't want to know. Oh, but you do. I can see the curiosity on your lovely golden eyes. And I could see it earlier today, too. Thank you for accompanying me to town. I believe that I only met the boy because you were there to guide my way. We were looking for medical supplies. That boy appeared through mere coincidence. No, it was more than coincidence. It was destiny. Fine, whatever you say. Listening to him is exhausting. It makes me realize how tired I am. And all of these revelations are making my head spin. I'm going to go to bed now. I'm too tired for this. It has indeed been a busy day. We will continue this enlightening discussion some other time. Perhaps. I turn to walk away with a little chocolate in my hands. As I walk back toward the darkness of the hallway, Rumpl's soft voice echoes behind me. Sweet dreams, my princess. A compliment's value. You waited, but the children didn't come, did they? Oh, this is a new scene. We haven't seen this one. They promised they'd be back today. We even crossed pinkies. Promises are futile, dearest heart. But I've told you before and I'll tell you again, people are selfish creatures. They will always put their own well-being before others. No one does anything selflessly. To put your trust in someone is weakness, Evillan. Even those that make promises will only keep them if it benefits them, and you, my sweet, were obviously not beneficial to those children. So they didn't like playing with me? No, they did not. It's so awful to tell a child. Come here, darling. You do not need those other children. The two of us can play together as we always do. I can always trust you, Mother. Of course, my love. My head feels foggy. Maybe it was because it took me forever to fall asleep yesterday. And then, to make things worse, I ended up having that dream. Mother, you're the only one I can trust. Right? I slowly slide out of my bed and make my way over to my dresser. The little bag is still where I left it last night. I open it up and let the little white chocolate lily fall into my hand. Oh, it's so pretty. Is he really trying to help me? I remember his face yesterday and his bright smile as he presented this to me. I slowly run my fingers across the delicate white petals. He couldn't have known lilies were my favorite flower. There's no reason to be sentimental about something like this. It's just silly. I'm about to put the flower back in the bag, but I stop, eyeing it once more. Slowly, I bring it to my lips and bite off a small petal. It is actually pretty good. I stuff the little flower back into the bag and make my way downstairs. The merchant is not busy this early in the morning, but everyone is starting on their chores. At least I assume as much when I see Anise and then Waltz, who is helping her stack things. Then I hear rising voices and realize that not all is calm. At least I don't have to pretend to be something I'm not. Uh-oh, is Rumpl fighting with Karma again? You say you're not pretending when you go around flirting with all of the female patrons day in and day out? You cannot seriously mean all the drivel you spout. Karma and Rumpl stand on opposite sides of the table, staring each other down. A teacup filled with what looks to be cool tea sits close to Karma, abandoned. Flirting with a lady is not a crime. One day your flirting is going to get you into even more trouble than it already has. I've never had a lady said I mistreat her, not once. Oh, I'm sure many could attest to being more than slightly annoyed. You're only jealous that I can speak to ladies without a disguise, aren't you? Oof. Rough blow. Karma slams his hand down on the table, shaking it. The tavern grows quiet. Waltz looks over, his eyebrows furrowed with worry. If you so much as make one more comment about my curse, then stop making comments about how I speak. The two continue to glare at each other. It almost looks as if Karma might circle the table and slap him, but the fight freezes as Jurian strides up to the two men. Hey, Jurian. It's too early for the two of you to already be at each other's throats. But he started it. All I did was make a comment. He was the one that picked a fight. There you go again, twisting words. Jurian stomps on the ground. The two men once again turn to look at her. It's my job to break up unnecessary fights, and I will do it. If you two must continue fighting, go do it somewhere else, like the forest, where you can't disturb anyone. Both men turn away from each other, obviously agitated. Rumpl's expression is cloudy as he makes his way over to the bar to begin help set the tables. Julia notices me watching. She waves at me with a tense smile on her face. Sorry you had to wake up to that, Princess. I shrug as I make my way over to Mr. Broom. It's like waking up to two children arguing. Agreed wholeheartedly. Durian sighs before looking at me thoughtfully. Maybe you could have a word with Rumpl later. I have no idea how their argument even started. Maybe you can get to the bottom of it. I'm not a babysitter. But I heard the two of you were partners? Ugh. Anyway, I hope this doesn't happen again. Good luck with your work today, Princess. Durian walks off, vigilant as always. I notice Garland looking at her from the bar, a slight frown on his face. I start working around the tavern, starting first with the cleaning and then with the stacking. Delora makes snide remarks about my slowness as I work, and I try my best to ignore her while occasionally throwing her insults back at her. It's as if she has nothing better to do. The door to the tavern opens, and Parfait steps inside with a bright smile. She looks more energetic than usual. She's still got dark circles under her eyes, though. I wonder if this is because of Rumpl's medicine suggestions. Later, I manage to catch Rumpl when the two of us are both on break. He looks pleased to see me until I mention Karma. Why were the two of you fighting earlier? What a sad day it is if the princess talks about another man to my face. I typically do like 2 hours for streaming. I want to get to the end of this chapter and then I'm gonna call it a day, but I'm really interested with Rumpl's story. It's so mysterious, so I'm gonna keep going for a little while longer. I usually I stream for about like 2.5 hours though. Just answer me. I was getting ready for the events of today, as always, speaking to the lovely woman who filter in and out of this place, when the beast appeared behind me. Ugh. That's like a dramatic insult considering he has the Beauty and the Beast curse. Even his insults are dramatic. Your flirting is distracting me, he proclaimed. Well, your flirting is annoying. But all I'm doing is complimenting women. I'm not impeding anyone's work. I thought that the only reason he was calling me out on such a thing was because he was actually jealous. You should have seen his scowl. And here we go. So I politely told him to mind his business, but he was relentless, and then he continued to insult my demeanor. Well, I had to say something back. I wasn't the one to start the fight. I swear they both really do sound like children. No doubt Karma would be blaming Rumpl. Princess, you don't think I'm so confrontational, do you? I think Karma is way more confrontational than Rumpl, but it does not help that Rumpl always snaps back at him. The two of you are both at fault. But Princess, in the end, you were still having a childish argument. I think that Rumpl might try to protest again, and I'm surprised when he shrugs his shoulders and sighs. Yes, it was childish, because that man is a child. I roll my eyes. Ah, your irritated scowl chills my heart, Princess. I feel a tinge of excitement. I'm leaving now. There's really no point in having this conversation. It is a problem between Karma and Rumpl. They aren't children. They can figure this out on their own. Oh, Princess of my heart, why must you depart so early? I ignore Rumpl and leave him standing where he is as I return to my shift a little early. Honestly, I would just much rather focus on work than Rumpl. He can be just as tiring, if not more. Though, after what happened last night, I do not think he is as terrible as I thought. The days go on, and Rumpl and I speak only briefly during our breaks. Every day I eat another piece of the lily until only one is remaining. One afternoon, just before my break, Rumpl approaches me with a mischievous smile on his face. My lovely princess, how are you today? What do you want? Your cold shoulder is enticing. I have one more table to serve. Do not bother me. But Princess, I've decided I know exactly how to teach you to be good. All of your other lessons has been useless so far. Please just trust me. Put my trust in someone is weakness. I'm going to teach you how to flirt. Oh my gosh. This is gonna get us a good date? This is what he thinks? If we flirt with people? What? The first step to flirting is eye contact, Princess. But why are you... Rumpl points at my customer, a young man sitting right beside the window. The second is to smile. Smile, princess, because I'm sure you look even more stunning when you do. Then you start a conversation with him. Body language is important. There are certain signals that key men into the fact that a woman is interested in them. I think playing with your hair is one. A gentle tap on the shoulder is another. I should have expected Rumpl to spout this sort of nonsense. Princess, the customer's been waiting for a while now. Is something wrong? I noticed the customer looking at me expectantly. He's just some man, a usual customer that I actually see often. Oh, and princess, don't forget the compliments. Make them as delicate and illustrative as you can. I move away from Rumpl before he can muddle my thoughts any further. Already my feet feel like lead. I find myself staring at the man for too long. The way he stares back at me, his expression is so unreadable, suddenly makes me feel more uncomfortable. Do I really have to do what Rumpl says? I stop in front of the man and set down his tray, my eyes still on his. I do not have to follow Rumpl's advice, but for some reason my lips quirk. The smile on my lips, though, lasts all of half a second. Are you okay? Oh my gosh. Are we gonna flirt with this guy or not flirt with this guy? I kind of want to see what her attempt to flirt would be. I think it'd be funny, but I don't think that's the right choice. Let's go for it anyways. We're gonna attempt to flirt. We'll see how bad this is. I can feel Rumpl smiling at my back. If this were anyone else but him, I would think it was some kind of prank. But considering this is the way Rumpl acts all the time, maybe he's really trying to help me. I try to recall how he flirted with his customers before. I couldn't help but notice you were alone, sir. I'm always alone. My heart is thumping far too loudly in my chest. What kind of things does Rumpl usually say? Madam, you're the most beautiful thief I've ever met, for it is you who has stolen my heart and stolen my gaze. Your eyes are more captivating than the stars, my sweet. If I could, I would stare into them forever and lose myself in their majesty. I don't think these kind of compliments are going to work on a man. You remind me of a rose with thorns, but the thorns are what makes the rose so alluring. All he does is spout complimentary gibberish. I will try to do the same. How is it that you would always be alone when you have such lovely eyes? The customer stares at me, baffled. I force myself to continue. Your eyes remind me of the leaves in fall as they flutter beneath the bright gaze of the sun, and... I stop. The words, nothing more than a shallow lie, make me feel strangely hollow. This isn't going well. The man is just staring at me, but he looks uncomfortable. Still, I do not think he is anywhere near as uncomfortable as I am. Ma'am? Perhaps he would... My voice trails off. I bite my lips so hard I can taste something metallic. The man's expression is a mixture of awe and perplexity. Oh my gosh. I immediately turn away from him and walk off. So much for the compliments. My whole face is hot. I can feel anger boiling deep down inside me. Oh, that was the right choice. Go figure. Oh, that's awesome. That was awful. Princess. Leave me alone. Princess, we're not done. I do not care. I ignore everyone's gazes as I make my way as quickly as I possibly can up the stairs into my room. There, I collapse on my bed and lay there with my arms outstretched. Why would I have ever even thought about taking Rumpl's advice? Oh, that was perfect. That was so good. Hours go by, and eventually I realize it is time to help Anise with the night chores. Now I am helping her restock some of the bottles that Waltz and Karma brought back from town. I hope Anise does not mention what happened earlier today. I slip out of bed and head down to the main area of the tavern. The room is mostly quiet by the time I go downstairs. Parfait and Delora are talking to each other at a table. Karma passes me by as I walk downstairs. He looks exhausted and oddly frustrated. I make my way over to Anise, who is already putting bottles on the shelves. Oh, Princess, are you okay now? I am fine. Now, what did you need me to do? Anise explains how restocking works. She shows me the labels on the shelves and explains that the empty spots are where the new bottles go. It's not a hard job, and one I can easily do without thinking too hard. For a while, the only sounds that can be heard in the merchant are the bottles clinking against each other. Underneath that is the murmuring between Parfait and Delora. I have no idea what they're talking about, but they look serious, so it must be something important. So Princess, can I ask what life was like at the palace? Right. She cannot remember working in the palace before. Why is that? I don't mean to pry. I was just trying to make conversation. I'd rather not. Oh, okay. Eventually, Parfait and Dolores stand from their seats and move to another room to continue their conversation. Anise breaks the silence again. The tavern is nice when it's quiet like this, isn't it? You can hear the sounds outside if you open a window. My hands move stiffly, placing bottles on shelves by label. All I want to do is get the work done and then return to my room. It was like this at the old place that I used to work. I was hired by a rich family to be their maid. Their mansion was a beautiful place. You could hear the crickets if you were by the window in the bottom floor. It seems like her memory has been twisted by my curse, so she cannot remember working at the palace. All she remembers is working for a rich family. It was a nice place, Princess. There was a girl close to my age that had a radiant smile. And that's gonna be our sister. She must be talking about Evillan. The head of the mansion is a really kind man, and she suddenly grows quiet, a look of confusion coming to her face. She pauses and then shakes her head again. I can't seem to remember everyone that was there, but I'm pretty sure they were all good people. At least I'd like to think so. I was just a bad maid. She was, because of her, Dolores' dress was torn. I was too ashamed to tell one of the mistresses that I couldn't save her doll. Save her doll. Annalise looks down, her smile wistful. I was fired on my first day because I couldn't save one of the mistress's dolls. I was the one cleaning her shelves that day, and when I went in, I saw a crow had come through the window and was pecking at one of the dolls. I shooed it away, but I was too late. The doll had a little rip in its dress, and I was fired for not doing my job properly. Ugh. So it wasn't Anise who ripped Dolores' dress, but a bird? Is this why Dolores insisted Anise deserves an apology? What happened after you were fired? Lady Parfait found me on the streets. I couldn't go back to my aunt's house, not after what happened. She never liked me anyway. Anise's face clouds briefly with sorrow, but the expression is short-lived. I can never forget the day I met Lady Parfait. I told her I would be able to help her and anyone else that got sick. That I can even do all the cooking since I've been making meals for my father since I was a young girl. I begged her to take me in, and she did. I owe our Lady Parfait a lot. Why didn't you go back to your father after you were fired? My father passed away a while ago. My mother died giving birth to me. My father was an herbalist, and he taught me a lot while he was still with me. So before Rumpl came in, I helped Lady Parfait with herbal remedies. So you have no one, except for this aunt. That's what I thought, but now I have everyone here. The merchant is my family now. Family. Princess, we're all happy to have you here too. You really help out around the merchant, and I can tell Rumpl's happy to have you as a partner. The memory of what happened today slowly seeps back into my mind. I cannot help the irritation bubbling up inside of me. I know he's a little overwhelming, but I'm sure Rumpl's really trying to help you, just like he's helping Lady Parfait. It is not the same thing at all. Ugh. The two of us continue working until Anise makes another wistful comment. The place I worked before this, it feels like there was warmth in that gigantic home, but it was stifled. That place isn't warm at all. I speak the words without even meaning to. Anise looks up at me curiously. The king suddenly started speaking to me when Mother died, but it was never enough. Before that, he was cold and distant, and even now he favors his new wife and children over me. There were a lot of people, but they all wore fake smiles, and my father, he was the worst of all. I may as well have never existed to him. Well, now you don't. Princess, I'm sorry. For what? You're talking about the palace, right? Ugh. The king always seems so nice. He put his kingdom before his children. Anise fidgets nervously. I'm sorry. Apologies are not going to change the past. I know, rip for her father. Rip for her mother, too. I'm kind of curious what's going on with her aunt, but she's kind of a minor character, so I don't know if we'll ever know. This is more action that we got with Anise than last time. Last time we barely talked to her at all, but this time, like, we're actually talking to her and getting a backstory. Sometimes apologizing seems like all we can do when we can't change something that's already happened. It's very true. I think about Anise, who tried to save my doll, and the way I fired her that day. Rumpl told me once that all I had to do was listen to people to sympathize with them. Could that also be true for finding out the truth? All I can do to make up for what I did to her is apologize. We're gonna apologize. I'm gonna save first, but we're gonna apologize, because Anise deserves an apology. I am sorry. Anise looks at me, clearly shocked. She stares for a few moments before I scowl at her. Staring is rude. Oh, I was just... Why are you apologizing to me, princess? It is for something I did that you wouldn't remember. That I wouldn't remember? You should tell me. I promise I won't hold it against you. It is not important. And Anise's eyes are suddenly downcast, and no matter the attempt, her smile isn't as bright as it once was. I quickly finish stacking the bottles on the shelves. That doesn't seem to have gotten us the good girl points we need. Do we need to go back? This one. Let's just stay quiet then. It's not her fault that the doll was in the shape that it was. I fired her prematurely, even if she didn't give me the entire story. Ugh, but she could be lying to me. She says she did not bring it up before because she was ashamed, but it's far more likely that she's just making excuses for her incompetence. But then, what reasons would she have for telling me that now? My heart plummets to the pit of my stomach, and suddenly I feel dizzy and irritated. Anise's eyes are suddenly downcast, and no matter the attempt, her smile wasn't as bright as it once was. Is there no good girl points for this one, or did we move past it prematurely? I quickly finish stacking the bottles on the shelves. I'm done. Anise turns to look at me with an unusually tired expression on her face. Thank you for listening to me, princess, and for telling me a little bit about yourself, too. I feel like I might have said too much. I do not respond to Anise, but instead choose to head out the front door. Anise asks where I'm going, but I just ignore her. I'm thinking about heading to town, but then reconsider. I decide to head to the forest instead. Okay, that didn't get us the points we were looking for. What if we... No, I don't want to overwrite it. I want to load. Load this one. Let's apologize, because I think that's the right thing to do. And we'll fast forward. There we go. I make my way to the forest clearing. In the dark, everything feels a lot more comfortable. Here I do not have to pretend to listen to anyone, and I do not have to talk about myself. I settle down on a rock and stare up at the sky. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Those good girl points. I apologize, but Anise did not even understand my apology. And even now, I still cannot bring myself to trust those at the merchant. I sigh and find myself speaking out loud. Maybe I am the Ice Princess. Ah, but you have seen the beautiful sculptures that can be made from ice, princess? It's Rumpl. Hi, Rumpl. Turn to see Rumpl walking towards me, a broad grin on his face. Ice always sparkles in the sun. It glistens and stands so proudly where it's been sculpted. I stare at Rumpl blankly. He sighs and shakes his head. I'm sorry, that one was particularly bad, wasn't it? He sits down beside me and his grin falters a little bit. Ooh, double piercings. I didn't notice that before. I have no white lilies to give you this time, my sweet princess, but I will offer anything else you need for me to apologize for my advice earlier today. I can offer anything. My words, my body, oh my god. I cut Rumpl off as I'm not in the mood for his usual behavior. You're always like this. All you ever do is flirt. Any meaningful thing you try to say is lost in the flattery you constantly give to people. It is shallow. You're right. What? I stare at him. Rumpl is still smiling, but not the same confident grin he wore earlier. Somewhere deep in my memories, I remember someone telling me off, just like this. Many people enjoy flattery, princess, and a lot of people are receptive to flirting, but nothing can measure up to genuine compliment. But I stand by what I said before, in that making a person happy is a good deed. Huh. Look, I'll show you. Rumpl shifts so that he's looking right at me, and I notice his smile is gone. Evillan, of all the women I've met, you're the most straightforward and honest. Many do not have the courage or the confidence to exhibit those qualities. And that's why I admire you, and why I will always take your words to heart, because I know you will always speak the truth. I look into Rumpl's eyes, which still have a gentle shimmer despite the darkness. For a few moments, his words float around my head. No one has ever called my bluntness honesty before, and no one has ever complimented me for it. Rumpl told me that before that I deserve to be spoiled. Maybe it's because he sees the things I do in a more positive light? My, you're struck speechless by that, aren't you? You look cute with your cheeks so rosy, my sweet princess. I glare at him and Rumpl just laughs in response. I put a hand to her cheek, suddenly self-conscious. Oh, my cheek. I put a hand to my cheek, suddenly self-conscious. Rumpl smiles at me, but it is not the usual playful smile. Right now, he almost looks serious. Did he mean what he just said? Ooh. Overwrite this save. What should we do? I kind of want to ask him if he meant it, but I don't know if it's going to get us good points. Let's try it, though. I'm really curious of what he's going to say if we ask him if he meant what he said. Did you really mean that compliment? Of course I did. I told you, right? Making a person happy is a good deed. I wanted to show you that. Rumpl's compliments do make people happy, even if I do find his words to be very shallow, but that felt different. Flattery is wonderful, but it is usually only concerned complimenting a woman's physical appearance. Though I do that really well, don't I? Earlier, I bet you made a niece happy too. You were spying on our conversation? I would never. I just happened to be making my way down the stairs very slowly. You don't even know what I was apologizing for. No, but you thought you had to after you listened to her, didn't you? I listened far more than you do. Princess, you shattered my heart so many times there are permanent cracks. But do not worry, the cracks in my heart allow even more for you to make your way into it. Oh my gosh. Rumpl awkwardly laughs when I remain silent. Anyway, there are different kinds of listening, Princess. Listening to sympathize is one kind. Trying to put yourself in someone's shoes, trying to understand them, that is one of those ways. That's a interesting remark considering we have the Cinderella curse and we're trying to get shoes. Then there is the kind of listening that is shallow. One pretends to listen without ever letting the words into their heart. Words are fickle things. Mother always told me that people lie and that they would say whatever benefited them. It is foolish to trust words. What if a niece had been lying to me? Why would I put so much blind faith in people? Because more than often than not, people are good, Princess. I let out an exasperated sigh. Sometimes I cannot tell if I'm angry or confused by Rumpl. Ah, what a beautiful sound. It was as if the sweet wind itself was gently tickling my ear. I slide away from him and scowl. Your scowl is adorable too, and you have such delicate lips. Right. I'm still convinced that his earlier compliment was just a lie. How can he say something genuine and then slide right back into this pitiful flattery? For a moment, silence falls, and I find to my surprise that it is not awkward being alone with Rumpl. Will you accept my apology for earlier? I promise I'll never try to get you to flirt with anyone ever again. Yeah, we're maybe not cut out for flirting. Besides, if you flirted with another man and then grew fond of him, I would be devastated. That would never happen. You didn't let me finish. I was going to say that I would be devastated because that would mean your heart belongs to someone else, and my heart belongs to no one. I will steal it like a thief in the night. That will also never happen. If not that, then I'll settle with making you smile at least once, because I'm sure you would shine as brightly as the sun if you smiled. You are unreasonably persistent. Love is a persistent endeavor, Princess. A man in love stops at nothing to win over the woman he so desires. Then you must be in love with many women. Oof. I stand up. I would appreciate you just complimenting me when you mean it. But Princess, I mean every one of my compliments. I have no energy to chastise him right now, but at least I no longer have that anger inside from earlier. It's been a long day, and I'm going to go to bed. Would you like company? No. I didn't mean good night, Rumpl. Good night, Princess Evillan. I make my way back to the tavern, feeling surprisingly light. Still, even if Rumpl's words might make me happier than I care to admit, he's not doing a very good job of helping me with my curse. Okay. I don't think that was the right thing to do. I think we needed to tell him off. Oh, no, I don't want to overwrite it. I want to load. Wait. Yeah, this one. We're going to tell him off. Why did you have to be so dramatic when you gave me that compliment? I was dramatic? I cross my arms and Rumpl grins at me. I can't help it, Princess. I'm dramatic by nature. A compliment is, in some ways, a performance. So you did not mean what you said. Oof. No, I did. I swear I did. I was trying to show you how making a person happy could be a good deed. Complimenting a person's appearance is easier than complimenting them on their demeanor. You have to know a person for that. Oof. There we go. I meant what I said, Princess, and I swear that I wasn't just trying to weave spectacular words together. Earlier, I bet you made a niece happy too. Yeah, we did. But we're gonna skip to go to bed. I might have to do this on my own after all. Yeah, Rumpl's not really helping with our curse very much. Chapter 5, the Doctor. Alright. This is where I'm gonna end it for today, guys. Rumpl is making me exhausted. So we'll come back and play more Rumpl next time I play Cinderella Phenomenon. We're probably going to end up playing 99 Spirits maybe tomorrow or over the weekend. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, if you missed this video, if you missed this video, or if you missed the later videos that I did, my route with Karma, my journey through Okami, and my journey through 99 Spirits, you can find them at YouTube / at princessevillan VODs. So I will see you next time, guys. Thanks.